Okay. What up, y'all? It's been a minute. Kinda, not really, maybe so. But, anyways, in the last couple videos, I've been talking to you all a lot about trust. And I mean, trust specifically in the workplace, and then differentiating that from your personal trust, like friendships and family. And even that can be different. But what I really want to talk about now is just establishing that foundation of trust and creating a stable and secure environment for your actual work team. So, again, the things I want to talk about, man, I need to get some water or something because I keep like. But, anyways, what I'm getting at is really what I want to do here is kind of help you recognize that building personal connection and making sure that you build those open environments and good communication are going to help lead to stronger trust-based relationships. So those are the things that I want to cover in here, and hopefully by the time you're done, you should learn that active listening, incorporating feedback, and creating inclusive environments through things like respect and empowering your team and strengthening trust in your leadership is going to get you there. So that's why we're going to step into the shoes of a leader that's probably facing, let's just say, a common challenge, which is building trust within their team. We all know that that's a fundamental aspect of leadership, but anyone who's ever managed a team knows it can be hard. So just, if you've ever been in the position where you're trying to gain trust and respect from a team, you have to become someone that they rely on and also look up to. So when I think of that, I have to ask, what would you do in these scenarios? What would you do to build that essential trust? So if you were to picture yourself leading a team with a bunch of different diverse personalities and levels of experience, and you noticed a lack of cohesion and some type of hesitation to fully engage in the work, what would you do to truly lead that team effectively? How would you build that foundation of trust? And the reason why I bring that up is because that's something that in the corporate world, specifically in tech, we focus on that a lot. Even in interview questions, I'm just going to be honest, we ask how you would navigate that. Because in reality, it's about being consistent and reliable. So let's just say you're put in a situation where you promise your team you're going to provide them with the resources for a project. How do you ensure that those resources are delivered on time? And how do you follow through on those deadlines and commitments? You want to be able to answer this no matter how small. You want to be able to build that reputation for reliability. Because when your team sees you being consistent and keeping your word, then they know you're someone there's someone that they can depend on, which is you. So let's pause and really break this down. Because you might ask, why is dependability so crucial? And it's because dependability establishes credibility. When you deliver on your promises, your team learns that your word is bond, B. But seriously, you start building security, you foster reliability, and that's when trust can actually flourish. Now, none of this is possible, though, if consistency isn't there, right? You can't make promises and then break them once. You actually have to be reliable and do this all the time. It's not easy, but try to do it no matter the situation. It doesn't matter how big or small. You want to build that reputation of just being consistent with delivering on your word. Okay? It's pretty simple in layman's terms, but it is a lot of work. Now, you have to remember that people trust leaders they like. I think this is something that I think about all the time, and it's not easy, but you have to build some type of relationship on a personal level. So do things like take time to listen, celebrate successes, and then also show genuine interest in their well-being. One of the greatest managers I worked with always had that open door policy, meaning he was open to questions and discussions, not leaning in too much, but still creating that comfortable and approachable atmosphere. You don't want people to be scared. Although some leaders do lead through fear, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about building trust. You want people to trust your leadership. So let's take a minute and dive into why approachability actually matters. Do you know why it matters? When your team at work feels comfortable approaching you, do you notice the difference? Do you feel like they're more likely to share their ideas and concerns, or do they shy away from you? And I want to know how you actually created that supportive environment. Like, what did you actually do to do that? Because the other thing I want to talk about is within those personal connections, you want to make sure your team members know that you have a welcoming energy, a welcoming environment, and personality, right? You do that through showing genuine interest. Learn about their family, learn about their dogs, learn about their hobbies, and respect those values and hobbies and things that they do. So what if you were actively seeking input from your team and you wanted to do it during a decision-making process? Would you be able to acknowledge and appreciate their actual contributions? Do you even do that? And even if you don't always agree, do you still show that you value what they say and you value their opinions and perspectives? Or are you one of those people that shuts everything down like right away? I literally saw this happen recently, and it just makes the experts feel like their insights and expertise are not even valued. So you want to make sure that they trust your judgment and your leadership, and you do that by trusting them. Now, another thing I want to consider here is practical application of all of this, right? Why is respect so essential when it comes to demonstrating your value and your team's contributions? Why is respect so essential? Because when your team feels respected, they're more likely to be engaged. And when they're more engaged, they will likely be more committed. And when they're more committed, they're going to be more trusted. And again, you build that trust and that commitment by taking in their ideas, creating that safe space for perspectives and different approaches, showing appreciation, acknowledging your team's contributions, and again, by being consistent with all of this. You want to consistently apply these principles if you want to see transformation. If you really want to see your team thrive and you want them to see you as a leader that they can depend on, connect with, and respect, you have to be consistent. Because it's not just about being liked. It's about building a foundation of trust that empowers your team to thrive. Because at the end of the day, you actually become a leader who inspires confidence and drives success, because you know that building trust is an ongoing process. But if you, again, focus on things like dependability, approachability, and respect, you can become a leader your team trusts and follows. Now, if you want to learn more about effective leadership from someone who's been in it for over some decades now, subscribe to this channel and join our community. We have good conversations. I'm trying to get that moving so we can continue to provide this exclusive content, tips, and insights to help you become better. And remember this, trust is everything when it comes to effective leadership. So consistently demonstrate dependability, approachability, and respect. And you can really build that legacy of trust that empowers your team and drives success. Thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.